Welcome, everybody, to Talking College Football with Luke, featuring analysts Anwar Thornton and Dan Pedraza. Wow, guys, you know, can you believe the amount of upsets that occurred over the weekend? I mean, everybody was just bringing it, man. You could tell we've already started the playoff run right now. We saw a couple coaches get fired. I don't know if you want to spend any time talking about that, but we're on our way. And so again, Anwar is live from Tokyo, and and I are live here in Chicago. I'm in the studio. Dan is at remote. If you can see my background, normally I have the boys talk about themselves, but I just turned 70, so we just had a nice birthday party. It was fantastic. Good friends, Bruce Dorsey from Ohio came up and spent the weekend with me. So, hey, Bruce, if you're watching, just want you to know I appreciate you coming, man. All right. And this week, let's take a real quick look at what Miss Renee the Barber prepared for us. And let's see, I hope she steps up her game over those fried tacos from last week. I told you that wasn't my thing. So let's see what she's got.
Peanut cheeseburger egg rolls with a tasty dipping sauce. Recipe below. First, saute your onions, add and crumple your meat, add your pickles, your peppers, and your seasonings. Cook until all pink is gone. Remove and let cool. Now, while cooling, let's go ahead and make our dipping sauce. 2 heaping tablespoons of mayo, 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard, 1 teaspoon of honey, whisk and set aside. Now we're ready to make our hearty filling. Add 1 cup of shredded lettuce, 1 tomato chopped and drained. Time to assemble. Now place that egg roll wrapper in a diamond shape to you. Lay it down, 1 slice of cheese, 2 tablespoons of filling. Roll, tuck the corners, and seal with water. Mix approximately 15 rolls. All right, time to heat that oil and carefully drop that roll. Cook until the golden brown, crispy on all sides, approximately 4 minutes. Remove and place on a rack, not paper towel. Serve and enjoy. Like, share, and comment.
Wow, guys, I think I can try that. Those jalapeno cheeseburger egg rolls. I don't know. That looked pretty easy to make. I think I could do that, and maybe I'll give that a shot.
You got the
Yeah, that
Chinese
looked
and
good.
American fusion. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. All right, hey, let's get right into it. We got a lot to talk about. We got our new top 12, and when we do the show, we're not seeing the first college football rankings by the committee. At that point, we're going to go to next week, use our brackets going forward. But we got some great games, starting with Friday night's upset. Guys, we looked at a big game between Miami and Louisville. I'm not saying that Miami wasn't ready, because anytime you have a Jeff Braun coach team coming into play, right, and they're playing a top team, I think his record was like 5-3, but when I was watching that game, Louisville came right down the field, man, and scored a touchdown, and they brought it all evening long. Now, I'm going to give Miami some credit. That big offensive line and Carson Beck. Now, he had the 4 interceptions.
4 interceptions, yeah.
Yeah, 4 2 of them were on him, and one of them was garbage. But they came back. They made it a real tough game for Louisville. But I got to tell you, the Cardinals look like they're for real. We'll see if they're ranked this week in our top 12, and then we're going to see what the committee is going to do with them, and then we're going to see where Miami is at in our top 12. So let's talk about the one of the other big games that we forecasted last week. Anwar, why don't you tell us a little bit about LSU Vanderbilt?
Man, so if you watch the LSU Vanderbilt game, this was a masterclass by Diego Pavia. It was kind of one of those situations where you see a quarterback take over the game, like sort of a Heisman-like performance. Not saying that I don't think Pavia is right now in the Heisman conversation, but really,
did you
yeah.
see him where he did the Heisman pose in the end zone?
I did see that. I did see that. You know him. He's got a cocky attitude. But right now he's talking the talk, but he's walking the walk. Um, big win for Vanderbilt. Uh, I'm really surprised about this whole coaching search thing, and I feel like a name that doesn't really get brought up a lot is Clark Lee, coach at Vanderbilt. With the Florida
Huh.
job now open, with the Penn State job open, I think that Clark Lee is gonna get a lot of looks from around teams around the country, and hopefully Vanderbilt can keep on to him. But we saw a Vanderbilt coach go to Penn State before, so.
It's true. Dan, you want to talk? You got any feedback? Or you want to just go ahead and jump into the next game, which is Notre Dame USC?
Well, yeah, I mean, Diego Pavia looked great. And that's a good point. I haven't even heard anybody mention their coach possibly being a hot prospect, but I'm sure teams will be looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I watched the Notre Dame game. I was working during the game, so I was flipping back and forth, and then I watched the rest of the game yesterday. But I mean, it wasn't a pretty game playing in the rain in South Bend, but Notre Dame got the job done, just behind a monster running attack, and USC was just not able to do anything about it. CJ Carr didn't have his best game either for Notre Dame. He threw a really bad interception at the end of the first half. But Jeremiah Love just went insane. He had over
Yes.
200 yards rushing, another 80 yards receiving, I think. And then Jadarian Price, their other running back, had his own 87 yards. Even with Jeremiah Love getting all those yards on the ground, they still had room to find Jadarian Price almost 100. Not to mention his 100-yard touchdown return for kickoff return for a touchdown. That just really swung momentum in Notre Dame's direction.
I'm glad you brought that up because that special teams play, well, those are backbreakers for any game. Anwar, let's move on. Let's get to Tennessee, Alabama. Before you start talking about that, or do you have any pushback for Dan on Notre Dame, SC?
Nah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it
Let's
just looked like a running explosion. Notre Dame is one of these few teams this year. I've seen around college football this year. I haven't seen a lot of great running games, and it's fantastic. It's cool to see like a team like Notre Dame still sticking with it. I've seen a lot of passing teams this year, so.
So let's talk about Tennessee, Alabama, and I'm going to preface this before you start talking about that. Is for my money right now, um, Alabama looks like they are a definite contender for the championship, not just the SEC, but for the whole thing. They look really strong. So, Anwar, let's get your observations for Tennessee, Alabama.
Sure. So this game was another track meet game. Started off very close in the first half, and I don't know if a lot of people watched this game. This game was won in the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. Tennessee is down by a touchdown. They're driving down the field, trying to score a touchdown before the end of the half. They get the ball starting in the second half. And what happens is, like, maybe it's 3rd and goal. They run instead of. I don't think they thought they could run up the middle against Alabama's D line because Aguilar was getting sacked all day long. They had a safety as well on Aguilar. He rolls out, gets a little pressure in his face, throws a pick six, and it's a 14-point swing. So that was really the turning point of that game. Tennessee did fight back in the second half to keep it close, but you could just tell after that it was just all it wasn't all Bama, but they were able to sort of put it in cruise control to get the win at the end. What I saw from Bama this game, Ryan Williams finally had a great game. He kind of been underutilized. He had no receptions in the Missouri game. And, once Brian Williams starts playing elite level, it's hard to stop that passing attack. Alabama has no run game. They ran for about 60 yards this game. They're kind of like Ohio State, which is actually just a pass first team, like I was talking about before. So Ryan Grubb really done big things over at Bama. And this is a different Bama team than what you've seen under the Nick Saban era. But yeah, dangerous pass game, and couldn't really stop the run of Tennessee. Tennessee, you know, Aguilar had a rough game, but their running game was really well. The one weakness I see on this Alabama team is sort of that run defense. But besides that, I think Bama's a pretty solid team.
Okay. So now we're Ole Miss, Georgia. So Dan, did you have any pushback on the Tennessee, Alabama? Any comments?
Not any pushback, but it's just crazy to think that. I mean, Alabama's weaknesses are its run game and its run defense. Just after all the historic,
Thank you.
D line players and running backs they've had.
Yeah, I mean, it that's hard to believe. When you look at their quarterback, I mean, do you realize this guy's been sitting on the bench for what, 3 years, or is he 4 years on the bench? I think it's
I don't
3.
know.
And this is,
3,
yeah, because this is his 4th year. And so he's had a chance to mature. And everybody's saying it's Simpson's his name, right?
Simpson,
Yep,
yeah.
Tyson.
Saying, yeah, they're saying he's the Heisman front runner right now. So we'll see.
See that.
Some people were saying from Ohio State, or then you got the Mendoza camp. So, but it's kind of early. You know, we still got plenty. We got, heck, with this upcoming weekend, essentially 5 more games to find out who's going to win the Heisman. We won't have our Heisman conversation until a little bit later on. All right, so let's talk about them Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs, as they say. Amar, you want to lead us off on that?
Yeah, sure. So I did get a chance to watch that game in full. This was a fun game. This was an absolute explosion. Fun fact about this game, there was not a punt until the fourth quarter. And actually, Georgia did not punt the entire game. There was almost no defense going on in this whole game. It was a track meet from the word go. Um, and that's like kind of, flipping the script on what we've seen. We were talking about how Bama's current strengths, the passing game, and their weaknesses, the run game, and the run defense. With Georgia, it's like their defense, especially their defensive line, is not looking great right now. But their offense is amazing. They really getting the tight ends involved, which you haven't seen from them. There's this guy, Lawson Lucky, I believe his name is. He had 3 touchdowns. A big red zone threat for Georgia. Their running game looked good. They cycled through maybe 3 running backs. I liked one of their receivers, Zion Branch. He was a transfer from USC. And, USC could have used him in that Notre Dame game, but he can just an exciting guy to watch with the ball. He's not really a deep threat, but he's more of like, I'm going to catch a screen and I'm going to take it 70 yards, run after catch. Hunter Stockton looked great. He can actually run the ball a little bit, which I feel like you look at him and he doesn't look like super athletic, but he's one of these guys that can pick up 4 yards on a 3rd and 4. Da-da-da. So yeah, that was just a fun game. Speaking on Ole Miss, they kind of just bogged down in the fourth quarter. I don't know if they have the same depth as Georgia, and this is Trinidad Shambles' first road start. Austin Simmons was the starting quarterback over there for the first part of the year. It just kind of looked, he just got bogged down in the fourth quarter. That's when their offense really stopped working. Great game, really fun game. And if you just love offensive explosion, this is the game for you.
Dan?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I watched a little bit of that game too. It was kind of hard for me to choose who I wanted to win. It was more who I wanted to lose. But I mean, it was a very entertaining game. Just it's like a Pac-12 game, a Big 12 game right there.
What'd you think about Kirby? Let me ask you this. What'd you think about Kirby Smart? Like, he gets all the calls. He came running down. He wasn't saying timeout. So, he wasn't doing this. He came running to the guy and they gave him a timeout. I mean, come on. It happens far too frequently. You have to ask yourself what the heck is going on with these referees in those situations. I don't know, man. To me, that something's off on those type of situations.
That was
the
fishy
refereeing
one.
has not been
Yeah.
That was last week in their Auburn game, but the referees have just been pretty pretty
Oh, yeah, that was
bad
last week. I'm sorry.
across the country this year. It's kind of an ongoing problem, but especially this year, it's been pretty bad.
Let me ask you, you just like me, you guys, we're watching so much college football. It starts to all blend together. I've gotten to the point, as I've been talking to my friends, that we have to watch so much to prepare for this show, right? That the NFL, I'm not even watching NFL games right now. It's because it doesn't fit into my schedule, By the time we do the prep and we talk about this and we do the planning to come on here and talk about these various games. What do you guys think about something like that? It's not affecting you?
It's the same for me. Same for me. My fantasy football team is struggling because of that. Really, the only NFL games I've been watching are the Bears, and barely even those.
Yeah. I forgot
Yeah,
to
for
mention that
me,
thing.
it's like I usually have work on Sundays recently, which means I gotta stay up to watch these games, but there's zero chance I'm spending 2 nights up in a row to watch both college and the NFL. So, yeah, like you guys, I've been locked in on college football, and for me, I'm like recording games, and I gotta text them like, "Don't tell me the scores. I gotta go watch the game later. I want to have like watch with a fresh mind, and I don't want to know the scores before I watch." Yeah, but it's been really fun, and yeah, it's definitely like this is something we all love doing the show. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
it's
do
not like a
love doing the
burden. We
show.
were talking about how we take time to watch college football, but I'd be doing this anyway, even if I didn't watch it. It didn't weren't on the show. So we do
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah. That 14-hour difference between Chicago and Tokyo makes a big difference when you're watching a football game. So
Definitely.
I think we've got one more big game to talk about, and that's the Holy War,
Yeah.
Utah versus BYU. Now, I'm going to start off when we did the teams and when we did our preseason rankings and we looked at teams that we thought might be sleepers. I was a big Utah guy. Where you had Arizona State, looks like you're still alive. Dan, who'd you take? Do you remember who you took as your sleeper?
I had Indiana.
You had India. You were a front
He did.
runner then. Come on, Dan.
Yeah,
No,
no,
they were
he
front
did
runner. They
choose
were ranked
Indiana. I remember
19.
that.
They weren't in our
Yeah,
He
rankings.
did. He did.
19th isn't a sleeper.
To be fair, nobody was talking about Indiana going into this year. I feel like everybody's talking about Illinois actually, and Illinois is a little bit underperformed, but
No. Let's think about that. Okay, before we get into the Holy War, since you brought that up, and I know we're off script right now, guys. I got to let you know that. Who has Miami lost to? I mean, excuse me. Who has Notre Dame lost to?
Texas
They lost to
A&M and
Miami and
Miami.
Texas A&M.
Okay, and what were they ranked? Number 2, and you said Miami and who else?
Texas A&M.
Okay, and what, number 5? So Illinois has lost to Ohio State and Indiana, number 1 and number 2, right? So if they go 10-2, are they in the CFP? And they
I think
should
they
go
should
10-2.
be. Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Can somebody bring up Illinois' remaining schedule?
Dan, can
They
you
have
pull it up?
Washington. Yeah. I probably know most of it off the top of my head, but I know they have Washington next week.
It's up
Then I
game.
believe Rutgers and
road.
then Purdue. Or not
All
Purdue.
right.
No.
So their season comes down to next weekend. They beat Washington. They're going to finish 10-2. At 10-2, Illinois deserves to be. You're not going to leave a Big Ten team at 10-2 out of the playoffs, are you?
No, yeah, that's a good point. But I want to say Dan said the last game of the season is against Northwestern, and nobody knows this. Northwestern is 5-2 right now. I know. Listen,
Can
I
you
I
believe
wouldn't have
it?
expected either, but Northwestern is sitting there with only 2 losses. So
With a
kind of
win
sneaky
over
team
Penn
right there. They
State.
beat Penn State,
Yeah.
but
Physical
yeah, which is I guess
ground and
that's
pound
nothing
team right
crazy
there.
anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's get to the Utah BYU game. Who's going to lead off on that one?
Yeah, I could talk about this one. Like you said, it's the Holy War. BYU won their 3rd straight game against Utah. just to go. I think they're 7-0 now. I know they're undefeated, but yeah, it was a tight game. They were back and forth the whole game. And both offenses had pretty good performances, just with some red zone stops. So a lot of long drives that just they couldn't convert on. But Bear Bachmeier had almost 250 yards throwing. But it was just a great game. There were some crucial plays in the last quarter with an ejection, and then BYU coming back to score and win the game. But I know BYU might be a threat. That's a team, even though they're undefeated and a Power 4 team, nobody talks about them. I guess we'll see as they get through Big 12 play. But I don't know. I think in other rankings outside of ours, they're getting disrespected by the AP at least.
Anwar, you got any comments on
Yeah,
that?
sure. So I also watched this game in full. I agree with most of the stuff Dan said. So about this thing with the Holy War. So I'm gonna bring up some outside of the game stuff again. But this week before the game started, you had some Utah fan posting that he's gonna on Twitter, posting that he's gonna kill anybody that is wearing a BYU shirt in Utah, and he got arrested by the FBI. So this is just a real rivalry. There's the Holy War between the Protestants and the Mormons, but it gets real out here. So this is a real big rivalry. This is nobody's really talking about this rivalry outside of Utah, but it's big in that state. I've seen a bunch of reaction videos online. This is a bigger rivalry than a lot of people like to think it is. So what I would say about BYU is they did win the game. Utah's 5-2. However, I didn't really see that much out of BYU. I don't know. They're undefeated, but I don't see them being a real playoff threat. They're probably a Big 12 threat to win it, but I don't think they have the explosive offense or the quarterback play for a championship. But maybe they can get in the playoffs. Probably lose first round, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, let me see. I just pulled up their schedule.
You're pulling up their schedule?
Yeah, they have Iowa State, Texas Tech, TCU, Cincinnati, then UCF.
I think they'll lose two. I think they'll lose two.
Yeah,
I think they'll lose
not going undefeated.
Yeah,
because we know that Texas Tech will be ready for the rest of the season. We know that Cincinnati, we've called them all year long. They're ready. I would probably even go out on a limb right now and say Cincinnati might be the team to win the Big 12, but we're not there just yet. Hey, I want to go off just a little bit. If you are watching the channel, this is what we do. We put a lot of work into this. We would like for you to tell your friends about us. We would like you to subscribe because we get a lot of views, but people aren't subscribing. So please subscribe, hit the like button. And when you hit the like button, we want you to hit that little bell so you'll be notified every time we put on the show, which we release every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And then share our content. We would love to see it. And then we also do the what we like to call the mini breakouts too. So anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. I want to also remind everybody on our parent channel, which is Luke Thornton Living Life. This week's feature is about our very own Anwar Thornton about living in Japan. It's a compelling interview that we did with him. He takes you in from how to get a job. He talks about buying a car, the dating scene, the nightclub scene, and handling the administration of moving from the United States to living in Japan. So again, that is on our parent YouTube channel, Luke Thornton Living Life. Please look at it and tell us what you think. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get to what the show is all about. Let's talk about our top 12. Listen, let's keep it short. We'll start with number 12. Maybe one comment, and that's it. Okay, about number 12. So a lot ILL boy. Why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right. Well, go Irish. Um, I think they show that they are one of the top teams in the country this year. And I think they kind of sealed their way into the playoff as long as they win out. So I think this is a good spot for them.
Number 11, Anwar.
At number 11, we got Louisville coming off of a big win against previously number 2 Miami. I love their running game. I love Isaac Brown. And yeah, it'll be interesting in seeing the way the AACC plays out. They've got the one conference loss still in the hunt.
I got number 10, and that's Ole Miss. Listen, that was beating Georgia. That was a tough ask. I don't know if they're going to make the CFP because one of these 12 is not going to be there because just looking at what we've got, we don't have a group of 5 in there. Dan, you got number 9.
Well, we just talked about them. BYU still undefeated. But we'll have to see how they have some tough games coming up. 3 probably really big games that we'll see if they can stay undefeated.
Okay. Anwar, number 8.
Yeah, so I got at number 8 is Georgia Tech. I get another ACC team. This time an undefeated ACC team. Georgia Tech, like I said previously, is undefeated. They've been eking out some wins. They're kind of like Vanderbilt and a team that is heavily dominated by quarterback play. But Pavia is more of like a Johnny Manziel run around the field and make passes type. Haynes King is a running type. Georgia Tech's going to just run the ball down your throat and eke out a win. So the last game of the season, Georgia Tech, Georgia, gonna be exciting.
Okay. I got number 7. That's Miami. I'll be honest with you, fellas. I thought they were going to drop a little bit more in our poll, but the voters have said nope. Number 7. They had played like a top team all year long, and now they did lose. That game was in Miami. Because what they haven't left the state of Florida yet. So, but we kept them at number 7. Oh, there we go. You got number 6, Dan.
We got Georgia. Yep. Just great offensive play for Georgia. Defense still needs a little work. So we'll see if they're able to clean that up before the season ends, and we'll see if they end up making that SEC title.
I think, the biggest controversy we have is between 5 and 6. So, Anwar, you got number 5.
And number 5 is the Oregon Ducks. They're sitting there with 1 loss, that being to our number 2 team currently, Indiana. Oregon has a really manageable schedule enough the year. However, I think Oregon's a playoff team. Right now, it's as it stands, Ohio State and Indiana are going to be in the Big Ten championship because there's no more divisions in the Big Ten. You get the top 2 teams playing, and right now the top two teams in the country. Oh, I wasn't supposed to reveal.
It happens.
Okay, a little spoiler. We have Ohio State and Indiana
this week.
Yeah, Oregon's probably going to finish with a 1 loss, and they're going to the playoff. No weaknesses on that team, and great. I love Dante Moore. He's still in Heisman contention, and their defense, especially the line, bunch of big guys. They'll be fine, and there's definitely still national title contender.
All right, so I got number 4, and I disagree with this. I didn't vote this team this low. I think Alabama is one of the top 3 teams in the country right now. I think they're playing that way, and they're one of my picks to make it to the CFP. I can see them right now in the Final 4 when we get around to it. Dan, you got number 3, and I almost said the name of the team, but I think it's obvious now.
Yep, I have Texas A&M at number 3. And I understand what you're saying about Alabama. I think maybe they are a top 3 team, but it's kind of hard to justify them over Texas A&M because Texas A&M didn't lose to Florida State by a lot. But Texas A&M has just played solid, clean football all year. We saw their big win against Notre Dame in week 2 of the season, and they've just been playing really clean football.
Amar, you got number 2. Number 2
Number 2 is the best story of the year, which I kind of revealed it earlier. But I mean, I should be a surprise to no one, especially after the Miami loss. The number 2 of the team of the country we have right now is Indiana. Indiana's actually the best story in the country this year. Dan, if we talked about it before the preseason, despite going to the playoffs last year, I felt like going into this season, nobody's really expecting Indiana to be in this real championship contending race. Including myself, I thought it was a 1-year thing from Indiana. I thought they got lucky, had a veteran roster, but it turns out that Signetti's the real deal. Like, it's hard. Like, it's a fantastic turnaround, and they're fun to watch every week. I truly believe that they are actually, like, despite the lack of talent or whatever, that's a veteran team. That's a well-coached team, and they do like very simple things right, like back shoulder fades. I watched Elijah Surratt hit on so many of those with Fernando Mendoza. Got great leadership. Indiana's the real deal.
And they just made Kirk Signetti a multi-millionaire because they wrapped him up, man. I mean, he's what they give him, $11.5 million a year. Wow, for coaching football, for something
I think
that
for 8 years.
everybody,
Right?
any one of us would love to do, right?
Right.
All right. So I got the number one team and all the land. And to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Number one, the best team, the Ohio State University Buckeyes. Yes, I said it. And we should have had them number one at the beginning of the year. They had us fooled. They had us all fooled, right? They should have been number one because if you won the championship, it should have carried over.
We were too busy talking about Penn State, Clemson, and Texas, which is great.
Yeah. So one of our people who made a comment on our show said we were a bunch of idiots for naming Penn State number one. Guess what?
We were.
You were right.
Yeah.
But hey, our response was this. Okay, it's the CFP. You went on meritocracy, and it's determined on the field. It's no longer determined by people like us voting for these rankings as to who's going to be number one. All right, guys, we're gonna bring this thing. We're coming down the stretch. We got some good games coming up this weekend. So let's just go over them. So these are the games that are sneaky good. And the reason why they're sneaky good is one is going to be USF playing against Memphis. And USF, I know they're not ranked, but when we look at the polls, they were just outside of our top 12, just to let you know. And I would imagine a big win this weekend over Memphis. That's probably whoever wins that game is probably going to be in the CFP. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
I think so
agree
too. Yeah, there's still a Navy possibility, but we'll see.
Then you
had Memphis losing last weekend to UAB, who just fired their coach. So
yeah. Well, actually, that does make it a lot easier for Navy. So I think if Memphis ends up winning, and Navy wins out, with the exception of their Notre Dame game, then that win's going to look a lot better than Memphis's that loss against Notre Dame is going to look better than Memphis's loss to UAB, and then USF's 2 losses.
I thought USF only had one.
Well, they have one, but I'm saying if Memphis wins this weekend,
right? Because Memphis only has one right now, right?
Yeah, Memphis has one to UAB.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So this is a big time game, and you're right. I didn't look at it from the Navy perspective. All right. Next on here, then this is a big game because of the tenuous position that Ole Miss is in. We got them at number 10. We no longer have Oklahoma in our top 12. But Oklahoma, Ole Miss, what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, we're going to see how Oklahoma was able to protect John Mateer. He was a little banged. He was out for a little while, and he didn't look so great against Texas. So we'll see how Ole Miss's defense is going to be able to contain him.
Yeah, especially after last week, and you saw Ole Miss get exposed on the defensive side of the ball. However, Oklahoma, they're another one of these teams where they can't really run the ball. Definitely not to the same level that Georgia can. Oklahoma has an elite defense. So Yeah, which is gonna win out, the Ole Miss offense or the Oklahoma defense? That's gonna be fun to watch on that side of the ball. Um, yeah, both teams one loss, and yeah, it should be a good one for the SEC. I think I'm gonna lean Ole Miss in that one.
Okay. Now, here goes one. I'm trying to, before I talk about it, I wanted to talk about uh, this game. And who would have ever thought that this game would mean something? It's UCLA against Indiana. Do you realize what UCLA are they? I'm looking. I'm trying to pull up the standings right now for the Big Ten. So
They're
just
probably
give
the
me a sec.
hottest team in the country right now, outside of the obviously top 10, whatever. The UCLA might be the hottest team in the country.
This is a basketball matchup from the 70s.
It's
John
a
Wooden versus
basketball matchup for the
Bobby Knight.
70s, but think about it. UCLA is 3-1 in the Big Ten. 3-1. So they are in second place in the Big Ten.
And guess who their one loss is to? It was to the team that literally nobody ever talks about, Northwestern. Who is 5-2?
Yes.
I just gotta say that.
Wait a minute. Northwestern is tied for second place. So the second place teams in the Big Ten are Oregon at 3, and these are all 3-1 teams in the conference, right? So you got Oregon, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Northwestern, USC, and UCLA are all in second place in the Big Ten.
That's a lot of second place teams.
Yeah, and they all get to play each other, right? But this UCLA Indiana game is all of a sudden a big game. All right, enough about that game. Oh, who do you guys like in that?
I think Indiana will win, and they won't keep it close.
Okay, yeah, I think
Yeah.
reality sets in this weekend too.
Despite all what we're saying, yeah, Indiana's gonna put BTA. It's
Here goes a big game in the SEC. Missouri, Vandy. Okay, so let's see where we are. So Missouri is 6-1, Vandy 6-1. Both of them are 2-1 in the conference. And I'm looking. I want to see where this game is going to be.
They both lost to the same team.
Yeah, they both lost.
Yeah, both of them have a loss to Alabama. What do you guys got to say about that?
Played them much better than Vandy did. It was a much closer. That Missouri-Alabama game was much closer than the Vandy-Alabama game.
Uh-huh.
I think that could be a really good game, honestly. I feel like they're very evenly matched teams right there. And also, speaking of, you were talking about the UCLA-Indiana match, and it was like, who would have ever thought we'd be paying attention to the UCLA-Indiana game? Who would have ever thought we'd be caring about the Mizzou-Vandy game?
That's true. Well, that is absolutely true.
You could say that about any Vandy game this year, especially.
Yeah.
Right.
Here goes one.
I think the last time Vandy's...
You know how all these coaches are getting fired right now? I'm sorry, Dan. Go ahead. I cut you off.
Oh, no. No, sorry. I was just saying how I think it was the last time Vanderbilt has been 6-1 or ranked this high has in the AP poll at least. It was 1941.
I saw that. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
1941.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to go back to what I started talking about. You know, with all these coaches getting fired right now, like Billy Napier, I was shocked to see him go, but yeah, probably time. So let's talk about Mr. Kelly down there at LSU, because they got Tamu this weekend. And they're paying him a ton of money to win these games. When they brought him in for Notre Dame. Where do you guys see this game? LSU, Texas A&M.
Well, I think Texas A&M is a lot better. LSU is one of those teams that's ranked in the AP. Obviously, they're not ranked in our ranking, but they have no wins over anybody with a winning record, I believe. Like their marquee win at the beginning of the season. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I mean, they beat Clemson, which was a big story at the beginning of the year, but and we saw how that turned out. Let me see.
You're right.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
they you're right, Dan. Wow.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
with this game, actually, I think this is going to be an upset. I think I actually am going to take LSU to beat Texas A&M this weekend. I just don't think. I feel like Texas A&M was like kind of like a BYU situation. Like they've been, like Dan said, they've been playing good football, but they just feel like they're. I don't think they're like top 5 elite teams, and Brian Kelly is going to be coaching like it's his job's on the line because
It
his job is
is.
on the line. Yeah. And because of that, give me LSU in that LSU Texas A&M game. But
Whoa.
like I said, I think
Okay.
Texas A&M is a better team. But like I said, I've kind of always been on the mindset that like Texas A&M is gonna lose a few games, and like just with the whole Brian Kelly hot seat, I'm sure everybody's gonna be fired up for it. So give me LSU.
I don't know. Just from watching a lot of Brian Kelly coach teams, I don't know if that pressure is going to help him. I remember at Notre Dame watching him just get on players, and not in a way that's just tough love, a little bit more where it's like they don't like him because of this. Not like they want to fight for him, but he goes a little too far. And especially if you think his job might be on the line, he might try to do too much and lose a team or lose the game.
Yeah, he's not a
Okay.
great guy. He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a great
He's in
guy,
favor
though.
of execution. He's in favor of execution. You want to see that interview? That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
and I mean, it's happened.
Yeah.
All right. And we got one more top. What? I missed it.
I know what Dan is referencing. Yeah.
Okay, so it's an inside thing. All right.
No, it's not an inside thing.
What?
It's
Oh, well,
We can
share
move
it
on.
again. I missed it.
It's
I'll tell you after. We can move on.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can move on.
Yeah.
One more big game. And this is a big game because of what we said earlier about BYU. Houston, Arizona State. Now, Dillingham has this team rocking right now, but Houston's really been rocking all year long, and nobody, and usually we uncover everybody. We uncover every team. Nobody has been talking about Houston. So where are we at on this week's game? Levitt's back. Levitt came back too, by the way, for Arizona State.
Yeah.
And that's why they won last week. That's
Yeah.
why they beat Texas Tech.
Do you think they're undefeated if he hadn't missed that game?
No, but they still would have lost to Mississippi State.
Okay.
But forks up or whatever they say. I got Arizona State in that game. I don't think there's just a lot of teams that are just still sitting there with one loss undefeated that I just don't think are that good. And I feel like Houston's
Okay.
one of those.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I think just Arizona State's a more veteran team, and they're my surprise pick, and they're still alive. So for the hope of my preseason pick, I gotta go AC. Works up.
Okay, Dan, anything?
Yeah, I might not have watched. Well, I know I have watched Arizona State, but I have not watched a single minute of Houston football.
I watched one Houston game for like a hot minute, and listen, they're still alive. They're 6-1. They got a shot. That Big 12 is so wide open. It's ridiculous. Hey guys, Dan, I appreciate you playing hurt this week. You strapped it up. You went and met with the trainer. They gave you a shot. You got out here on the field. Appreciate that, man. Thumbs up. Anwar, I know it's really early in the morning, real late at night for you over there. Appreciate you, man. You just came back from Kyoto. Arms are tired from flying. And I celebrated all weekend long. So, yeah, it was a dad joke. I know. Okay. Yes. All right. So, hey guys, we just want to thank you for tuning in and watching our show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Every Thursday, 10 a.m., look for us on YouTube, Talking College Football with Luke, with analyst Dan Pedraza and analyst Anwar Thornton. And special contributions by Ms. Renee the Barber. Hey, give us some feedback on her recipes that she provides to us each and every week. Guys, next week we will be talking about the CFP standings. You ready for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Ready.
Any surprises we should be looking for before we sign off?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who gets that group of 5 spot.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah, I
wide
think that's
open. We'll
one to
know this
think about
weekend. We'll have
too.
some clarity this weekend.
Yeah.
Anwar, what were you saying?
Nah, just be prepared. Like I said, I agree with Dan. Just seeing who they give that edge to over the group of 5, because one of them is gonna make it. One of them's gonna make it. So
One of them's
Yep.
got to make it. All right, guys. See you next week. Thanks a lot.
see y'all next week.
See ya.